What's up, y'all? I'm Jaguar Wright. You might remember me. And I just got finished doing another interview with RealLyfe Street Starz. It was awesome. So subscribe and keep coming back, even for other people than me. They got dope people. Yeah.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
it ain't real life. Just ain't real.
RealLyfe Street Starz. You know what time it is. Everybody start clapping right now. This is some legendary shit.
super legendary.
Double down legendary.
She gave us a verbal spanking. Put us in a flame box.
She back.
Black woman went viral on our channel.
Somebody had to do it, I
Somebody
guess.
had to do it. And nobody was better.
Had no idea it was going to be me.
Look, your interview dropped 2 years ago. One of the most epic interviews I had the pleasure of being a part of. Interview dropped, going crazy. My sister calls me. She says, "Do you know who y'all interviewed?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." She was like, "No, you don't know. You have done no research. You don't know who you have on your platform right now." I was like, "Well, I met her. I talked to her. I'm pretty sure I know." She was like, "No, you don't know." I was like, "Look, I was there. Look, finally, I was there." Jaguar motherfucking Wright in the building. Put some respect on it. First and foremost, I would just like to say it's a pleasure to have you back.
Can you please let the people know you wasn't mad at us? Because they think you was just killing us. And we had a mad cool respect, a dope vibe, all that prior, after you showed us some dope music. Let them know that you fuck with us, man. Because they
Completely. Listen to me. If I didn't, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. How about that? And if I was really mad, I would have had something negative to say to y'all when apparently I had everything negative to say about the whole world, and I never did.
Amen.
So, matter of fact, if anybody ever asked me, I said it was a great time. They're great kids.
We'll take it.
Hey,
That's
And,
what I would say. I was like, no, they're super dope. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do in the future.
amen.
Like that's always been my attitude for you guys. People also have to realize that at that time, it was at the beginning of my tailspin. So everything that happened after, I had no idea it was going to happen. But when Mousequake said to me, "Jag, talk to him, do the interview." And I said, "That's okay." He said, "No, give him an interview." And I'm like, "Oh, an interview, not an interview, an interview."
Oh, I like that. I like that. Now it's crazy because you were told that it went viral when they told you that. You woke up like, "Hey, you're going viral." You thought it was, "Hey, am I sick? Am I?"
Yeah, because of the pandemic, you know. What you mean I'm viral? You know, like and I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "No, auntie, you're going viral on the internet." And I'm like, "I am?" I'm like, "Babe, they say we going viral." He was like, "We going viral." I'm like, "Yeah."
So I gotta ask.
Let's see where this goes.
There was a lot you unpacked in that interview.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, did you feel like you did your story justice in that interview? Just for the topics you touched on.
In your interview?
In our interview.
I stand 10 feet tall, 10 toes down to the ground on every motherfucking thing I said.
Okay.
Even down to Summer Walker
Yeah.
with her
And
very
it's-
troubled self.
I was going to say, this is unraveling as we speak.
No, that's the beautiful thing about being the kind of honest I am. Because what I'm saying is true, because what I'm saying is backed up on honest to God, complete integrity, I can say something like that, let everybody be mad about it, and step the fuck away. And let's see what reality say. It ain't my fault I be ahead of the curve. It really ain't my fault. I'm just operating in my principle. And then I heard about some of the troubles that came to your door. But if I'm correct, I want to say this while we on camera. When we finished the interview that day, didn't I give y'all some warnings about things that might happen
Yeah.
because of this interview?
Yeah.
Things happen.
Was I wrong?
No?
Oh, but was I right?
Yeah.
So,
Some of the things, the Tevin Campbell thing was interesting to me because we just hadn't heard from him, and he just kind of popped out of nowhere. Why do you feel like he had felt the need to respond?
I think it was a great marketing move for him. You know, to go from waiting for them to include you in an award show every now and then, they treated him, this business has treated Tevin Campbell heavy-handed and neglectful. You know, it's like the way they've shunned him, the way they've treated him throughout the years was absolutely terrible. So for me, even saying that in that interview, it wasn't me blowing up his spot. Yeah. I'm literally sitting here advocating for this nigga.
Right.
Like, I'm literally sitting here advocating.
Right.
Now, maybe you didn't want nobody to remember about the Hollywood Boulevard. Maybe you were hoping that was so long ago, and because it happened before Facebook, it didn't really exist, you know, kind of thing. But it did exist. And there's a whole fucking police report. There's a whole detective that said you propositioned him and you got in the car, you made the deal, and then he put the cuffs on you. That's in a record. If somebody goes and checks my record now, they're going to find things on my record. I was charged with child abduction. It's a 656 felony. It's real low, but it's still considered a felony. So if somebody brings that up about me, is it favorable? Does it leave room for you to have to explain certain things? Yeah, but it's your life. It's what you lived.
It happened.
And if it's on public fucking record, then it's on public record. I'm not speaking about it because I'm trying to slump you. I'm speaking about it because that's what the game did to you. And if you tried to forget, I never did. It was wrong.
Definitely.
It was wrong as fuck. He was a young kid who came into the business. His family depended on him for income to live. He was the family business, like so many star children are the family business. And he got left with people. He got left with people that did things to him. Shaped his personality and his choices before he had a chance to do it himself. Meanwhile, making hit record after hit record, and we sitting there dancing while this kid is being fucking just fucked all over every which way. Best he was probably treated was at Paisley Park with Prince. And then not long after that, Tevin Campbell disappears and nobody hears about him and nobody speaks his name until he gets arrested. And then it makes national news. And then they start playing his records. Oh, you remember when he was...
That is facts.
And then, after that, all that talent, all of these motherfuckers, all of these people who were millionaires and made millions off of him while he was a kid. And you left him out there. So I'm going to say it to you right now, Tevin. I'm glad you came out.
That's what I was going to ask.
However it happened, I wasn't trying to put you out on Front Street. But you never had an excuse to hide in the first place. Whoever you are, that's you. And you should have the right to be you, to not have to lie about you or defend you. And I pray to God that you do whatever you got to do to get everything they owe you, because they owe you, nigga. They owe you big.
So would you think the industry created that, or that was always innately in them based on just your knowledge?
I don't know, because I didn't know him as a little child. my strongest connection to Tevin Campbell was through Rosie Gaines' daughter, LaToya, who we call each other sisters. You know, and her and Tevin were always together at Paisley Park. I bumped into Tevin at events and stuff like that, would see him from time to time, but we didn't have a friendship. It just killed me though, because I knew everything that was happening to him because he was with LaToya, and LaToya knew everything. And I would just sit there like, oh man, I hope he wins, I hope he wins, I hope he wins. And then he disappeared, and then people just stopped talking about him. You know, it's fucked up.
Can you have come out back then?
Fucked up. Huh?
Can you have come out back then? Like right now we have like the Little Nas X's, the I forgot the guy, Frank
Back
Ocean.
in the 90s,
Frank Ocean.
No.
Yeah, could that
No.
it's almost detrimental to your career.
He couldn't have come out, but the thing is, they were still busy trying to push a narrative. They were trying to push a narrative, like trying to make him appear. I mean, but they did it to all the guys. They did it to all the guys that were gay. You know, so it's just like, it's super unfair because you are who you are, but you have to pretend not to be who you are. But then the same executives that are telling you make sure the girls fall in love with you are the ones sitting there diddling you. You can't be gay in public, but please be gay with me. Like, I mean, it's
right.
kind of fucked up.
It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up.
Listen to me, after you finish licking my balls, I want you to do some push-ups and get ready for this video. You know,
Hold on. Now, it does make us ask, because a lot of things happen in that interview to where, you know, I gotta, you know, before we even talk about where you've been.
Yeah.
You touched on, you brought a lot of light to R.Kelly and Aaliyah situation.
Yeah.
And this is when Surviving R.Kelly had just kind of started.
Yeah.
And you had shown some light on that, and then to see where it is now, to see 30 years given. And you were like saying, this is what was going on. I mean, do you feel like the documentary did that? Or do you feel like this was just this was gonna happen with him still living the way he was living, or just based on never owning up to it? Like the way you would own up to, okay.
I think he was an acceptable monster at the time. Do I think he deserves it? Absolutely. He should get a fucking year for every year he was operating.
That's exactly how.
You had your fun, now you gotta pay the piper, Pied Piper. Even you have to pay the piper. So good for him. Good for him. I hope he sings during, you know, meal breaks and shit.
How do you feel about him
Get you a
being
little
able to drop a
concert.
whole album today?
Huh?
He dropped a whole album today.
R. Kelly?
Yes.
A surprise album, but Spotify and all of the platforms took it down. Do you think platforms should get into that at all?
No, no.
I
It was
think,
They took his music
no.
away.
Hold on, stop.
Okay.
They called it. Before you. It was called I Admit It. That was the name of the project.
He has a song where he says the Aaliyah situation, that was love. The sex tape with the 13-year-old girl, that was love. That's what he said in the song. They took that shit down so fast. Yeah, they took that shit down. Yeah.
I gotta get your.
I admit it.
He said the Aaliyah, this is quote in the song, Aaliyah, that situation was love. The 13-year-old girl he had sex on the tape with was love. That's what he said. Then he said something about
The one that he peed on.
yes. Then he
That was
said
love.
that's what he said. He
God.
says he likes old and young women, but it's not pedophilia. He says this in the song.
Oh, and he says all of this.
In the song, yes.
And he wrote all of this on some Tupac shit.
In jail.
From jail.
And it sounds good. I don't know what the fuck they doing now. What the fuck they mixing and mastering in jail?
No. He's probably
On the
getting
phone?
recorders.
Oh, these
and
engineers
singing into
fooling.
recorders, and then they taking it and they matching it up. You know, they doing what they doing.
Doing Mike in the jail.
You know, fuck him, fuck that. I'm glad he admitted it. You know, thanks. Love and urine. Love and fucking urine. He loved that 13-year-old little girl. He pissed all over her face. That's love, huh? He got excited, huh? Like, what's them, the Cocker Spaniels? That every time they get excited, they pee. You little cocker. Got it.
So with them taking his music
Love
off,
and pedophilia. Awesome. He like him young, he like him old, he like it all, you know.
that's what he said. That's what he said. I admit.
Yeah.
So we got to ask the question. I mean, he obviously got some type of mental situation going on
No,
there, right?
I just think that he desperately needs money on his books.
Oh shit, that's what. Oh, because they took away they took away the money that his fans was giving him on his book. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you know, who knows? Maybe if they keep sending more money, they'll let him, you know, let him get some money. You know.
Do you?
I thought it was so funny when Boosie started talking about, you took his commissary.
Yeah.
Nigga, you got some money, you put some money on his books then.
Yeah, he the greatest to you.
Since you give a fuck about him so much, then put some money on his motherfucking books. Since you love him so much. See, I don't like rape deniers and rape sympathizers. I don't bang with it.
Right.
It's fucking whack. It's whack as shit. Because if it was your daughter, or if it was your niece, or if it was your little cousin, I truly doubt you would be so liberal with the shit that you're saying. And then there's the other side of that pancake. If it's cool with you, then that tells me every fucking thing I need to know about you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this because
Fuck,
yes, they're
fuck his
taking
noodles.
yeah,
Fuck all of that.
but
Fuck his summer sausage.
right.
I hope somebody's summer sausage is you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just so funny because everything that I said, didn't it
Yeah,
just
it's
kinda just
manifesting like a motherfucker.
manifest it?
But let me ask this. Okay, so where do we draw the line, right? We have artists literally talking about killing other human beings, right?
Yeah.
So should that also be, you know, should the platform step in and take that music down too? Because if you're going to take down that, where do they draw the line?
Well, I mean, we're at a very interesting time in humanity,
We are.
period. I think we're all struggling with humanity, period. We can talk about that project, or we can talk about all the drill records where niggas is literally committing crimes to make records, and record deals are signing them and getting life insurance policies on them from the time, knowing that they're about to die, either in the course of or before they get to make their next record. And you've got all kinds of crime, just random crime happening all over. I mean, like, if you turn on YouTube and you just watch the national news on YouTube, I usually do that.
Yes.
Just to chart and see where is it popping off. And it's all simultaneous. This area here, and then the next thing you know, the next crime wave comes through here. It's almost simultaneous. So, you know, let's be honest about the shit that's influencing our environments. I got a bigger problem with fucking Grand Theft Auto than with some of the not so cool music.
Yeah,
I got a much bigger problem.
You saying something. You saying something.
I do.
And, you know, I'm glad you touched on that, because now you have artists creating servers and letting people, young children, get on these servers and live this gangster life through the game.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see it ever getting to this, but it's just...
Why not? Everything that starts out as something good has the potential to become something very bad.
Yeah.
Transportation. The car was invented to cure what problem? Pollution. Horse shit.
Really?
Think about it.
Wow.
Horse and buggy. They're big animals. They have to eat. They shitting everywhere. And the more people you had traveling on horses, horse shit everywhere. So they invented something that didn't shit, or so they thought. It was just a different kind of shit. It's called pollution. And now it done ate up the ozone. Now we got, you know what I mean? Like, we tried to cure one thing and then, oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's, when I think about video games, I think about Atari, I think about Pac-Man, I think about the early, you know, Super Mario years.
Oh, yeah.
I think about the crazy tech. Please, let's not even talk about Mario Kart. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, shit
Yeah,
like
the fun,
that.
yeah, the fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Fun.
Oh, turtle
Family
shell.
fun shit. But now it's like a game ain't gonna crack 100 million sales unless there's some kind of violence, some kind of killing, some kind of something going on. We got video games teaching people how to be criminals, how to be murderers, how to be thieves, how to be rapists. And they're sitting there watching this shit and playing this shit anywhere from 10 to 25 hours a week. If you done killed 80 million people in your video game,
Damn, you said 80 million.
isn't it realistic to think that you might want to try how it feels in real life eventually? Like, I mean, that's just, you become programmed. You become desensitized. And then you're playing a video game and then you listening to this nigga at the same time. And this bitch suck up more on my dick. I'm so high, I can't feel it. Give me some, like just, you know what I mean? Like it's, this is what they're listening to, this is what they're playing. This is what they're listening to, this is what they're playing. Fucking 20, 40, 60 hours a week. And we're surprised at the shit that we see happening in the world. They've been practicing this shit. Hour after hour after hour. They've been listening to the theme music. Popping Molly. You know what I mean?
Pop everything.
Think that shit had fentanyl, oh well. You know what I mean? Like,
Damn.
niggas is, no.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're
Like,
absolutely right.
So like Jamaica went ahead and said we're gonna stop like playing violent music on the radio.
Yeah.
You think that's a route that even America should take, taking away that freedom of speech if it's
I don't
causing
know,
real
but
problems?
See, is it freedom of speech or is it promoting destruction? See, freedom of speech is tricky. Freedom of speech is tricky. Because you can say whatever you want to say. The question is, what's the integrity in what's being said? What's the purpose you're saying it for? You know what I mean? And everybody wants to put the word art on everything, like that shit is hot sauce. I put that shit on everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's art. Oh, that's art. Oh, that's art. What happens when our first pedophile decides he wants to do an art show with all the kids that he's diddled and calls that art? Right. See what I'm saying? Like, you can't. We got too many crazy motherfuckers in positions of influence now. Like, that's the scary thing about the internet, which I've come to learn. Like, I've been drugged into the technology future, whether I wanted to be there or not. And what I've learned while I was there is that influencer shit can be very fucking dangerous, all depending on the hands that it falls in. Because there's somebody for everybody. And there's millions and millions of bodies out there. You know what I mean? You got fucking crazy, who the dude that was just with Trump? The Fuentes something. What's his name? He was with Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, this nigga's young to be on this Hitler shit.
Right.
Like, he young. No, not the Alex Jones. The dude, the other dude that went to Mar-a-Lago with Kanye when he asked Trump to be his vice president. And I would have loved to have been there for that. That would have been fucking awesome. So, but anyway, his name is Fuentes, something, you know, I choose not to like remember divisive people's names unless I need to, but I believe his last name is Fuentes. But he's young. And this dude is, kill them all. Yeah. Like, pretty much. Fuck them all. Yeah, I'm racist. And I love it. Like, but he has... Nick. Nick Fuentes. This motherfucker, he rolls with Alex Jones too. And these people got an audience. And because of the way algorithms work, all you have to do is fall into the right niche. And now all of a sudden you stumble into this whole new audience you didn't even know was out there for you, but they was looking for somebody like you. And it's a match made in hell. So I think the conversation really needs to be, in America, what exactly do we want our future to look like? Like, what kind of societies are we aiming to really aid and build or renovate? Like, how do we really want the future to look? Do we want this shit to look like Denmark and everybody be fucking harmonious and shit and great and everything's lovely and dong? You know what I mean? Like what do we want as a society? I don't think America knows what it wants anymore because it's been so busy being fed what they want them to want. Like, we gotta realize in this country, there are people who choose and select everything that we do, everything that we eat, everything that we wear, where we live, how we see ourselves. All of this shit is selected.
Do you think we're too free in America?
I think we're so free we don't realize we're not.
Right. Facts. Facts.
For real.
I think we finally reached the moment where the first movie for the Matrix series is really fucking relatable.
Yeah.
We there. No, nigga, we in the pods.
Right.
In the pots. No.
Puckered in the motherfucker. You know what I mean? Skin all taunting.
Now, I have to ask this because I'm gonna derail this conversation for just a minute.
Oh,
because
please. There's no derailment. Take us where we're going. It's a journey.
I feel like you had the potential and the power to create a movement of beings who could have some real thought and really think for themselves. But you were just gone. And why were you just gone?
Because my life was being threatened.
Okay.
And not figuratively. Literally, we were being hunted. It took about 4 months for us to shake them off. So not long after we did this interview, and then the Storm Monroe interviews, which was all infiltration. Tasha K, I'll say allegedly for y'all,
Right.
so ain't nobody talking about no defamations.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
We don't want nobody talking about no defamation.
She in Africa.
So allegedly, the gold shoe bitch, she was hired to target me. And, when I started the women's group WCW meeting, we opened up the Zoom room every Wednesday for women to come. And we were building it little by little, piece by piece. I found out, it took me about a month and a half to figure it out, but 3 of the women in the group all worked for Tasha K.
Oh, damn.
One of the women who had positioned herself to be my right-hand woman to help me build it, this bitch actually came to my house. I invited her to my house. So Tasha K had somebody in my fucking home amongst my family. It wasn't until after she came by, because we were having a barbecue that day, and just out of nowhere, even though she lived in Alabama, She just happened to be in Dallas for the weekend meeting her boyfriend, who she never saw again after that. And just happened to be not that far away. And I was wondering if we could get together and meet. Well, I'm having a barbecue at the house. Oh, I didn't know that, but bitch, I posted about it and said I was. I know your notifications is on. But it's cool. Come on. The family's here. We just barbecuing, smoking, eating, spending time. Sure. I see you every Wednesday on Zoom. Come on. What, somebody tried to break into the house, what was it, honey, about a week after that? Maybe a little less? Oh, wow. And then somebody faking to be an insurance agent who had an appointment with someone in the house, even though they had the wrong name, asked for their credentials, didn't have any credentials. Then we had to call the police to document it, and yada, 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 so on and so on and so forth. When them SAs was following me while I was walking the dog, that was the day. They was slow creeping up the street. And they didn't realize, they were so busy following me that they didn't realize that my husband was sitting in the car. He didn't have it turned on. He was sitting in the car and he was watching them. And then when I walked up, he turned the car on. He was like, these motherfuckers have been following you up the street, slow creeping. The second that I did that, I turned around and looked at them, and these niggas start taking off. So I go jump into the car. We start following them. We got out to the main thoroughfare, and then that was that. They were gone, and I'm like, okay, we not safe.
Right.
Got it. So then we started figuring out, are we gonna stay in the city or are we gonna move around? And then we had a house guest around that time who we found out, family friend who had flown down from Philadelphia to spend some time, found out that he was informing on us, giving information to certain people about how we live, what we're doing, what's happening in the house, who we're talking to, if anybody's coming by. When we found that out, that shit kind of fucked me up. Because this is somebody that I revered, you know what I mean, like an uncle. And then we had to put his ass on a plane, get him the fuck up out of here. And then we were like, you know what, let's just shut down the house and let's figure out what we're gonna do. And then right before we left town to head west, we went out to Arizona for a while with friends. Yeah, and we needed to spend some time with the people that were in my life to figure out, because there's been a lot of sifting through. I got 25, 30-year relationships, you know what I mean, with people in this industry, and I don't know who the fuck I can trust anymore. So we decided to go out west, but right before we left, we had stopped up at Clyde Warren Park because we needed to walk the puppy. He was still a puppy. So I'm walking him around Clyde Warren Park because we're like, okay, we're gonna get on the road. We're gonna beat it through here. We'll be in New Mexico by nightfall. So I'm walking the dog. I just gotten out the car. He was still in the car at the time. And car pulls up behind us to park. Now this is like 12:30 at night. So it's like, okay, maybe they're pulling aside too, just like we are, kind of. But then it was like this, they were at the top of the block, and then they started inching down closer and closer and closer towards the car. Little by little, like just creeping up. And husband says, get in the car. And I'm like, all right. So I pick up the dog. We get in the car. And then they start pulling up even tighter. I'm like, fuck it, let's move. You know what I mean? We had a burner in the car. But if it's gonna go down like this, nigga, we about to have some fucking fun. So we take off from there, we pull, they follow us. And I'm like, are we paranoid? Are we too high? You know what?
good old G-Pack.
I'm like, fuck it. Let's figure out what it's really fucking hitting for. So we pulling up to the red light. I said, this one's going to change, and then this one's going to change not long after it. Don't stop. Run the fucking light. So my husband takes off. They follow us. First red light. They continue to follow us. Second red light. The safety off.
Oh, it's about to go down. Yeah.
So, boom, we going. He's like, I'm like, pull up to Fuel City. I want cameras and I want lights. If motherfuckers is gonna see us busting shots, that shit's going to be documented. So, boom, we go. They following us. Boop, peel off. Next thing you know, we pull off, turn the car around. We sitting there facing the street, waiting for somebody to drive the fuck up. One car takes off, skids off, gets back on 35. The other one rolls right down Riverfront and speed, and I mean both speeding off. It wasn't one car, it was two cars. There was one that came to approach us. There was another one there for the ambush. They weren't expecting us to start running lights.
Damn.
I guarantee you, if we had sat at that light, that's when that other car would have came up.
Damn.
And it's business time. So we had luggage in the car. We were all packed up. Everything that we needed in the storage unit was in the storage unit. We headed west. We have friends out there, and we have friends out there that have anger problems just like me. So it worked. And we were there until we weren't. And, you know, it was kind of hard because you go viral, so it makes it a little bit harder to hide in plain sight. So, of course, no matter what state we popped up, it's Jaguar.
I'm sure we were.
Right.
What's up, homie?
But during that time, you while you were on the road, you were doing. I seen you doing a lot of interviews with Stormy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Actually, that was right before we left.
got you.
Storm happened before we left. When we had to leave was when we did the Tasha K interview.
Got you.
And Storm wasn't supposed to get what he got,
Right.
but I gave it to him.
Right.
See, Tasha wanted him to fluff me up. She was supposed to get the big interview, but I gave it to him. I knew what I was doing because I wanted to see what the fuck she was really all about. You've planted people in my life. You've planted people around me. Y'all doxed me. Then we went to Vegas. And that bitch Toxic Diamond, who also worked for Tasha K. And all of this was leading up to surviving Jaguar Wright. We're doing an interview at a Las Vegas station. All of a sudden, Toxic Diamond just moved from Atlanta to Vegas, living out of a hotel on the Strip. The night before we did the interview, somebody hit us with a message, hunting jaguars, all this demonic shit, the Illuminati's coming to get you, Clive Davis is coming to kill you, and you know, whatever. But it wasn't until we got sent another message from the same fucking account, from the hotel right across from ours, and the shit was facing our hotel window. I'm like, oh.
Oh, y'all playing.
So
Shit.
we ended up having to leave early. We got a phone call from a trusted source. We had to leave because somebody was coming up the service elevator for us in an hour. And I'm glad I still have friends in Vegas. So then they tried to stall out our luggage because we weren't allowed to take our luggage down. The bellman had to take it. Our luggage was rifled through and robbed from the time it came down from the suite to the car. They kept trying to keep us there. I had to press the issue to get my car, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers is doing too much. If I want to check out early, I should be able to check out early. Oh, well, this is only happening because you're checking out, early. What do you mean because I'm checking out early? If I want to check out fucking early, I should be able to check out early.
Right.
You starting to make it sound like you trying to keep me here. Is there a reason why you trying to keep me in? See, there's a moment when North Philly just kicks right in. I'm sitting there talking to the valet guy. Ma'am, I don't know why it's taking so long to get your car. It usually doesn't take this long. And I looked at him and I said, I want you to understand something. You getting me my car right now is good for you. Because if they come, I'm gonna grab your ass and hold you close. And you gonna get touched right with me. Now go get my motherfucking car, bitch. And you knew I wasn't playing. Oh, you don't wanna get my car? When the motherfuckers come, you gonna be my shield, baby. Kevlar. Got my car. You were able to finally get to the luggage. He had to go and track the luggage down. Couldn't find the bellman that had our shit. He went on break. So he came up to the room and took our shit to bring our shit downstairs to meet us in the lobby with the car. But while he took our shit, he went on break. I made enough noise. We did what we had to do. We got back in the desert.
So I gotta ask, when you speak your truth, does that make you not want to actually speak out and actually keep it as real as you kept it in these interviews?
There have been days where I thought to myself, maybe it's just too much trouble.
Oh.
And then I remember, that's my fucking purpose. And that's their purpose. To make me as uncomfortable as possible. So I won't want to speak. That's the objective. So all I can do is make smart choices. And believe that everything that happens, happens for a reason. Even if I lose my life, it was meant to be that way. Like I said, talking to y'all earlier about faith.
Yes.
What do I really believe in? I believe that everything that happens, happens within the will of God. Happy Shabbos. I believe that everything that happens, happens within the will of God. That means everything that I've said, everything that I've done, everything that has happened, that's about to happen, is happening as it is supposed to.
Oh yeah, amen.
For me to argue with that is for me to argue with what I really believe in.
So I have
So
to.
yeah, that's that.
So you mentioned surviving Jaguar. So I know it's
You wanna know what's funny?
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
mad because I've been surviving me too.
Right.
All my life.
So the first question is, you have not watched it. Let's just.
No,
or
I've seen clips, but I've never watched it.
Okay. So after our interview, you, Stormy, Tasha K, you know, and then this Surviving Jaguar is a trailer comes out for it. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Did you have wind of it that it was coming, that you knew was building? Because you had mentioned that there's a reason she has the numbers to the people that she got anyway. How did she get the X number? How did she get?
I gave it to her. I texted it to her.
For
You're
what-
welcome, bitch.
Yeah, for what purpose? What purpose? What that was to say, okay, well, let me just give you other people that could tell my story, or
Have you ever heard of the saying? It's an old Chinese proverb, beating the grass to find out where the snakes are. You know, sometimes in still grass, everything looks normal. But if you just stomp or you throw something down, you'll say, or even just the movement. You might not even see the snake, but you know that shit ain't moving by itself like that in that pattern. And at that point in time, I was doing a lot of that. See, I know my ex-husband is a narcissist. I know he's a liar. I know he likes the attention. But I was more interested in seeing what he had the balls to actually fucking say. Out in front. See, he lived off of me. He lived off of my fame. He made relationships off of me, off of my fame. I know he missed it. That's why for a while, I shut my shit down. You love me? Let's see what you fucking love. I'm gonna take all of this shit the fuck away. You love me? Or did you love what I could do for you? I'll never forget the first time I went to my dad when I was contemplating divorce. And I said, you know, I know this shit ain't working. I know it's not right, Dad. I know he's the wrong one. But I feel bad because I made that commitment. I said forever. And I haven't been an angel. And he keeps saying to me, he can't live life without me. I said, and it looks so real. It looks so genuine. Am I just that cold-hearted? You know what I mean? What am I missing? Because it's not adding up. My father looked at me. He said, baby, it's because he's not lying. He's telling the truth. He can't live this life without you. That nigga's nothing without you.
Damn.
He said, it ain't got nothing to do with loving you. But losing access to that life, he ain't never gonna get a taste of that nowhere else. He means that. That's why it looks sincere and genuine.
Yeah.
Where he gonna get another you?
I gotta ask. There's one thing that he said that blew me away. He said,
Sure.
when y'all were living in a, I guess y'all was living in the hood, you retiled the whole apartment to make it feel like a home. Is that real?
Well, see, there's a whole
damn.
part of the story that he's leaving out. When I met him, I had a roommate, a guy roommate, and we were friends. He cared for me greatly. We tried dating, it didn't work, but we were great roommates and great friends. So when my ex-husband came into my life, you know, we were living off South Street, like living in Deep Ellum. And I had this boyfriend now that was over all the time. Next thing you know, he started bringing clothes over. He had his suits in the closet. And I'll never forget,
How's
we
the
woke up
takeover?
one Sunday morning, because me and Joe would do that, my roommate. You know, we would turn on Marvin Gaye. He would go out, get the bagels. I would start making the eggs, and he would grab the lox. And like we had Sunday, and then sometimes friends would come over or whatever. So he went downstairs. He was like, Jay, where are the car keys? And I'm like, they're not where they always are. He said, I would think that someone stole my car, but my keys, where are the keys? And I'm like, I don't know. We shared everything. He shared his car with me. This nigga decided to get up and take the car. You're a guest here. This is my roommate. We're friends. You just don't get up and take this nigga car. It's not my car. Yeah, I'm always in it.
Jack, that was a red flag, though. I would throw that out there.
But you can't just take this nigga car. There was lots of red flags.
Yeah, but that was red flag number one, right?
Lots of red flags. But my shit was weird in that at that time. Because I wasn't quite sure whether or not I really wanted to be with this nigga.
You're 22, right?
Yeah, I was 22 at this time.
Yeah, we all.
Yeah.
No, see, you don't understand. I was kicking it with Common, and I was fucking with Little X on the side. And my ex-boyfriend had billboards all over Manhattan for Kenneth Cole Reaction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the light-skinned nigga with the blue-green eyes back in the day, who used to do the backflips with the shoes, the Kenneth React. Yeah, that was my nigga. So I had all of this action, all this option, but he clung the tightest, and I really didn't want a celebrity relationship. And I knew that being in a relationship would make it possible for me to work with the niggas that I wanted to work with and always have an out to not have to fuck them. So he was a convenient option because he clung so tight. So after that, he came back with the car. Oh, I didn't think it would be a problem. I'm like, all right. I got to get him the fuck out of here. Because you're changing my friendship now. So I went and I found the first thing that I could find. It was a dump crap apartment, Volpe Apartments. Actually, it was the first apartment that he and I lived together. It was in the same building where M. Night Shyamalan, on the same block in South Philly, St. Albans Street, where Haley Joel Osment lived.
Right.
So I actually lived in one of those. Now, of course, they didn't look like that on the inside. It looked like what it looked like on the outside, and then they created a set. But I lived in that building. I was like, that's the only thing that makes doing this dope. Sixth Sense, right? Yeah, the Sixth Sense. So we lived right there. The church that he ran to and did that, it was all right there around the corner. So, and then all of the Roots crew, we all lived all up and down St. Albans. We all lived within like 2 or 3 blocks of each other. We all used the same realtor. And it was a fucking dump, but it was last minute and it was quick. And I had to get this nigga out of my friend's house. So yeah, it was a fucking dump. It looked like a whole crime scene. I got a cab, went to Home Depot, bought everything that I needed, stopped at the carpet place, told them I needed them to come there and recarpet immediately. And I turned a crime scene piece of shit into a decent 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah, I laid all the tiles myself.
Oh, he didn't help?
Did all of the painting. No, he didn't even know how to fucking caulk.
Oh, that's red flag number 2.
You know what I mean? Again, there were many, and I know.
Yeah. But he like really was like, he really thought that was dope. And I thought that was like, damn, that's
I did a lot of great things for him. Like his birthday, when I had the Ritz-Carlton, because he couldn't get off of work, I had the Ritz-Carlton come and cater him a champagne brunch.
Oh, wow.
For him and his coworkers.
Oh, yeah, damn. Oh, yeah, nah.
Like, it was so funny, because people kept talking about how he was talking about his illustrious career as a pool player, as an amateur pool player or whatever. First pool stick he had, I bought him.
Shooting in the gym.
He wouldn't even fucking know anybody in pool in Philadelphia if it wasn't for me. They're all my friends. It was so funny, because remember, baby, when we went home after that shit, and we was over there, Kevin Hart's brother, my boy 40, he owns one of the old pool halls we grew up. So, you know, Ball Busters is still there. And it was me, you, cousin came through, Reggie was there, Big Reg was there, then Shiz came through. And we was in there just like, and they was like, why this pussy gonna sit up there talking like he the fucking godfather of fucking pool on this shit? This fucking
Man, let him be great for us.
He was like, he went too far with that shit. Wasn't nobody trying to hear all that shit. Can the boy play? Yeah, as much time as he spends doing it, he better be good at it.
Man.
I mean, he was shooting pool like 40, 50 hours a week sometimes. Like, he was round the clock. He would be shooting pool. He would get off work, go shoot pool. He was on like 4 or 5 teams. He was always doing some shit. And it was funny because I never joined the teams. I was a street hustler. I played for money. I played for purse. I didn't start playing teams actually until after I finished my second album and I came back home. And I had some time. And I was like, you know what? I'll start playing teams now. But he lived by it. So like, it was just really fucking interesting. And Reg and then they were sitting there clowning him. And I'm like, it's just kind of sad because it sounds like the interview that he did was more like an advertisement for himself.
There was
like
some advertising.
He was trying to sell his own personal brand. Yeah. I was good to that bitch. And, you know, the reason why I was good to him was because I didn't love him.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, explain, because...
Like I said, he clung the tightest, and he was the most effective option at the time. Common was sketchy, and I already knew if I got into it with him that people would think that he was the one that put me on and that my career and my success, I never wanted to fuck with nobody in the game until I had made it because I wanted equality. I never wanted anybody saying the only reason she made it is because she's such and such girl. The only reason she made it is because it's, no. I wasn't trying to go the Mariah Carey way. You know what I mean? It's you know, when I think about how she got signed to Sony, it still kind of fucks me up because when you have that much talent and you still got to suck dick to get your demo tape approved. And this is after being, you know, the lead background for Brenda K. Starr.
Just a demo
and building
tape.
Brenda K. Starr and all of that. Like, this is after that. Everybody knows what happened between her and Tommy Mottola in that motherfucking shit on the way to her first listening party. They seen her coming up from giving him head in the back of the shit. And everybody knew. Everybody talked about it. That's why she got the access that she got. She ended up marrying him, didn't she? Then she made him divorce his wife and made him fight her for alimony and child support after that woman had been married to him for 25 years.
But do you respect the girl that got good head enough to make that happen? Or is it?
Listen to me. This is how I feel. Whole shit is whole shit. Yeah. Music shit is music shit. Worst thing that ever happened to females in music was that they started using whole shit to market music. Like there's supposed to be a fucking difference.
So
that's like going to a Catholic church and your priest ain't really a priest. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like he got you know what I mean, the holy most pimp poteness. You know what I'm saying? Like
in the car jamming straight drill.
You know what I mean? Rather than the incense thing, this nigga coming through burning sticks. You know what I mean? Like you mixing the wrong kinds of shit.
Shout out RealLyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.